Hey guys, this is Selfie Style with Shoaib and Chirag
We give spontaneous on-the-spot reaction right after watching the film.
in Selfie Style.
So today I'll be watching Bulbbul in selfie style on the spot. This movie released 2 days ago on Netflix, but I found out about it yesterday. So I'm gonna be reviewing it right now after watching the movie on the spot. Peace out. Bulbbul. Anushka Sharma understands content. Alright, so I just saw Bulbbul on Netflix and wow, firstly, thumbs up. I love the movie. Very interesting and very different. It's the different aspect that really stands out. The mix of reality and just fictional and fantastical elements is what really makes this film different from any other film that has delved into similar subjects, you know. This film has many themes: patriarchy, misogyny, violence against women, the need for women to sacrifice their happiness for others, and then of course how women tend to be their own worst enemy at some level because they are so conditioned from childhood. So this is a very, feministic film, and there have been many films that have dealt with similar subjects, but that's what I'm saying. What's unique about this movie is the mixture of reality and fantastical elements. That is what makes this film very different and what actually takes these themes to another level. This is what makes the film very special and very different, and I really enjoyed this movie. Right off the bat, I love the non-linear structure of the screenplay, and this film is all about exposition, right? When to reveal what. That is what this film is all about, and that is what makes or breaks this film, and I feel that has been done very nicely. Basically, this film spans 20 years. Okay, so a large chunk of this film is in flashbacks. And I would just like to explain a bit of the first scene that is there in the movie, because it's this first scene that really just set the pace for me. It really got me engaged into the film. And if a film can engage you within the first 5-10 minutes, then that's success. That's a big thumbs up right there. So the first scene, a wedding is taking place. We don't know who's getting married, but a wedding is taking place. We have different guests, old, young, and in the middle. Then we are introduced to our protagonist, who is Bulbul, okay, around 5 years old or something like that, okay, and then we're introduced to another boy by the name of Satya, okay, another child. And at this point we think, oh, okay, it's a child marriage, okay, wow, this is crazy, right? So that's revealed and we think, oh, it's a child marriage. Then we see the rituals only from the girl, though. So we only see the girl doing the rituals. And then, later on, during the Suhagrat, we realize, no, it's not just a child marriage. It's actually, she got married to someone who's 3 times her age. So that's a shocker. So the reason I'm sharing this scene, which is right there in the beginning of the film, is because this is basically the film. Right? It constantly keeps you guessing. It shows you one thing, but then it turns it on your face, and it actually ends up being something else. And that is the strength of this film. It's suspenseful, it's interesting, it's unique, and at the same time, it's meaningful, because it deals with such a serious subject. It's a period film, yet it's still relevant today, and that is what I feel works for this film. Okay? Now for the rest of the film. Cut to 20 years later, and now everything is different. The characters have changed, the situations have changed. So there's 3 brothers. The eldest is Indranil, who Bulbul is forced to marry. The youngest is Satya, who Bulbul loved, was infatuated with. And the third is a handicapped twin of Indranil, okay, also played by the same actor, very impressive. Okay, so the entire situation has now changed, and we see that at present, obviously Bulbul has a lot of respect because she is the Thakurayan. However, she is heartbroken from within because of the fact that she could not do what she wanted to do. Her entire life was spent in sacrificing for others, right? Her happiness has no meaning. Okay, now Satya is back 20 years later, which means he left sometime within the 20 years, but now he is back, and we see that there is still infatuation between Satya and Bulbul. Okay, now we have a parallel track, which is what makes this film interesting. That while it deals with the trauma of Bulbul and patriarchy, the parallel track is when Satya comes back to India from London, and we see that there's a witch going around killing people. So this investigation begins, and yes, there is a connection. Now see, this is the catch-22 situation. It's interesting, but I can't reveal what the connection is between the witch murders and the actual story of Bulbul. But the only hint I will give is that it has to do with Bulbul's angst. It represents Bulbul's anger, Bulbul's trauma, and that suppressed frustration over the years. Okay, that is what that witch represents. However, I'm not going to reveal the twist. However, there's these two parallel tracks that ultimately come together at the end. I would like to say that this film is very well written, very well directed. The acting is absolutely amazing. Tripti, the lead, I mean, this is a very challenging role because it spans a time period. So her body language has to change. Her dialogue delivery style has to change. Her expression has to change. She has to go from being that, 20-something innocent woman to a much more traumatized lady towards the end of the film. So that is obviously something that's very challenging, and she's done a wonderful job, and this is basically, the film is on her shoulders, She is the film at some level. She is the film, and the writing is the film, and the direction is the film. Okay, other than that, I would say the cinematography is the film, the visuals are the film. That's basically what makes the film, and the story. All the other actors also have lent wonderful support. Rahul Bose, double role, one of a handicapped and one of a very normal person who's staunch. Very impressive from his end. I have to check the other names, sorry. Avinash Tiwary has done a wonderful job, very subtle, very nuanced, and very to the point. Overall, a very wonderful film. A huge thumbs up from me. I'll give it 4 stars out of 5. This is Selfie Style on the spot. Like, share, subscribe. Peace out.